these little lines were what I did yesterday. Just disassemble all those. Alright. So it is 11:33, August 14th. And so I was just on training for my new job as for bedding sales. And so now we are on, so now it's time to get into actual work. No, I'm just kidding. So we're on vlog 7. We got All of Me still. We're going to probably read either or today because we read Man in the Symbols yesterday. We're still on practice 1.5. We're on the finale of practice 1.5. We're doing the final project. Did my journaling, did everything, bankroll, prize picks. So still working on bankroll. And we're at 25 push-ups for the day. And so I'll probably get to go making some food because I'm starving. And then move into probably start with just we'll do the vlog first, and then we'll move into other things. Alright, so I've been reading Soren Kierkegaard's Either Or. It's philosophy. I went over it previously in one of the last vlogs, kind of more in depth. But this is one of the excerpts I read from 61 to 67, page 61 to 67. It's only 5 pages, but I'm telling you, I've probably been reading these same pages for 3 days straight. I've been slowly getting better at reading it, because philosophy is a different read than previously I read self-help books, and so whenever you start getting to more complex books, kind of like the ones I'm reading, it takes a couple rereads for me to really understand it, and I'm so new to it, and I'm back into reading now, so like my ability to comprehend and focus isn't as good as it once was. And so I'm not saying it was ever to this point, or to the point to be able to do this easily, but it's getting better. And so this is after like 3 days of reading it. I finally was able to write up a summary based on just 5 pages. So hopefully there's not too many grammar errors. A is the quote-unquote Arthur of this diary that he's writing in right now. So A begins stating there's classic pieces of art, some being poems, musical paintings, etc., that live forever in time, clarified by being called classics. He then goes on to express how much he loves Mozart's Don Giovanni and how it is at the top of his list, and just like a little girl obsessed with something, he is. He states he would cut off friends and family that disagree with him. He will give up his ability to rationalize. He will give up what he loves, for as he has a love which is that peace. He then uses this idea to convey why that way of thinking, to separate one of the classic at the top, that they all fall within the same infinite category. And if one was to be placed above the rest, then this means there is a difference in one, besides, of course, the piece of art. To be able to identify something within these pieces that can separate them away from that one another, then it can't be subjective to a person, opinion, or feelings. He goes into the story of the poem of Homer, made on the Trojan War, a beautiful piece of poetry that one can say is only a piece. He was in the right place at the right time, discrediting the poet's ability to write. But this is not how A views it. He states that there would not be a classic piece of poetry if Homer did not bridge together the connection. In my own words, I can rate this idea to luck, in the sense that in a book I read, it explains on this idea. I think it was The Outliers, but basically, yes, it was lucky Bill Gates had one of the only computers in his school, one of the only computers in the world in his school. But this does not mean anyone who had access to the computer at the same time could create Microsoft. So this example brings that not every person in Homer's position could create a classical piece of poetry. Furthermore, he emphasizes the idea that not because a piece of poetry subject was the Trojan War that is a classic, and outweighs Homer's ability to write, that they are of the same level, or as one, no more nor less. He spins the argument back to the start, referencing this list of classic pieces saying that there are equal, and for a piece such as sculptures, etc., music, sculptures, etc., do not use much of a subject as this poem, and are equal and for or on the same degree. And if there was a way to diversify them, then there would be a whole other category. So in conclusion, trying to separate the idea of the form, such as writing a poem, writing of a poet, the painting abilities of a painter, from the subject, this being the inspiration to express the form of art, is futile when a piece is called a classic. And so that idea, I'm not done with this whole excerpt, so I don't know where he's gonna spend this whole roundabout of 5 pages back into it. And so we're gonna keep building upon it. This is just kind of the idea that I gained from what I've read so far. And so you can see that it isn't complete in the sense of the idea behind the reasoning to going over why he emphasizes that, you know, you cannot separate these things when they're called a classic piece. And so he'll probably go over, but this type of rationalization and the way that he doubles back on certain things that he'll create, his way of writing is really well. And it reminds me of just like stable writing in an argument style. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna get better at writing these summaries. I know it was a little all over the place, but hopefully y'all can understand the general idea I was going with too. So this is a graph of basically my betting of this last season using my own betting strategy, and you see it was quite volatile. Never really dipped under $300. It was, and I started with $400 and it ended at $800. And so I mean, like, solid ROI, but not the best betting strategy. This is the same strategy, but this is just $400 fixed units, but a $5 fixed unit, and you can see the drawdowns are much less crazier with the same profit target, basically with the $800 profit. And so you can see that my betting strategy was not perfect, and that comes just with, you know, it was the development stage of the strategy also, so there's reasons for why it looks like this. But, you know, going on further and having this preparation, we're coming back to this NFL and NBA season even better. And I got all this through ChatGPT, of course, you know, just the GOAT, ChatGPT 5. I mean, giving it the parameters, it just executes perfectly. Gave it the whole sheet of win-loss. And so tomorrow we have further questions, but we'll execute those whenever tomorrow. For the main event, we're gonna play the song through. We have a new part here. I am shit at it, but we're gonna play it all the way through. Alright? We literally haven't practiced. I've literally been just trying to get down this part, write it down, and then just practice it right now. So that's all I've been doing. So we'll see how it goes, the practice.